Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, short version podcast, talking all things Pittsburgh sports. And, well, we're going to talk all things Pittsburgh sports, talking to you after a Pirates loss in St. Louis, another frustrating one. The Penguins get started today. Plenty of Steelers stuff happening. Mike Tomlin spoke to the media yesterday, talked about the quarterback situation, tackle situation, going to get into all of that. And, well, the biggest sporting event in town might be Pitt versus Penn State volleyball at Peterson Event Center. I'll be heading over there later. But first, going to start at least topically, or, the thing that happened most recently in the Pirates losing to the St. Louis Cardinals 3-1 at Busch Stadium. And it's frustrating to see where things have gone. And I don't know why. I have just sort of spent some time today thinking about what has happened since July 31st. Just the downward trajectory of things and how at that time the Pirates were such a big, fun story that everybody sort of latched onto. They've gone 16-28 since. There was actually some decent stuff from this game. Bailey Falter pitched, went 5 2/3 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. I thought it was an important. He's actually been pretty good in September at 2.50 ERA. And as you look at this season, what it's become, you're obviously going to look ahead to next year, how things are going to fit in the starting rotation. Obviously, you're going to have Skeens, Keller, Jones. All of that is true. Bubba Chandler, maybe, before too long. Luis Ortiz, I think, probably fits in there somewhere. Bailey Falter's in my starting rotation. I think there is absolutely enough there. That was just one of my takeaways from tonight. Nick Yorke had 3 hits. That was encouraging to see. That's the good side of the young guys coming up. The bad one, Billy Cook, comes up in a late game situation and you're pinch hitting Yasmani Grandal. I didn't understand that one at all. Grandal struck out looking, of course, to end the game. I just don't get it. Like, that's a meaningful at bat to give to Billy Cook. And if Billy Cook strikes out looking, whatever, at least it feels like you're efforting towards something. Yasmani Grandal is not on the team next year. And I think that's sort of I wrote about this a couple weeks ago, sort of the push and pull or the unfortunate situation. Like, Derek Shelton is probably managing to stick around. I know what Ben Cherington said. I still don't believe it, but you're trying to win the game. And, Yasmani Grandal might have more experience in that situation, but the thing that more or better applies, I should say, to your franchise and what you're building toward is to give that rep to a younger guy. I did not understand that at all. I tweeted something out earlier in the game as I wrap up talking about the Pirates. The stolen bases, it's just been a lot. They gave up 3 to St. Louis, and it sent me down the rabbit hole of looking up how they fared. And I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was this bad. Caught stealing percentage, 17.4, last in Major League Baseball. Stolen bases allowed up to 138. Only 2 teams have been worse. You can look at the fancy stats. Stolen bases runs above average, according to Fangraphs, -5. Only 1 team has been worse. Yada, yada, yada. Catchers have to be better. Pitchers have to be better. It's not one or the other. Pitchers have not done a great job. Catchers have not done a great job throwing. On and on and on. A quick and easy area of improvement for the Pirates. And again, it's just, it's a shame what it has become, because now you're at a race to, they're 71-80. As I mentioned earlier, 16-28 since July 31st. And you're kind of looking at that 76, 77 win total. And are they going to try to say that's progress? And when the calendar flipped and they're playing the most meaningful baseball, they've played very poorly. I understand it's not all Derek Shelton's fault. It's not all anybody's fault. I've gone on that rant before too. It's just a shame what it has become. Okay, I have a lot of stuff to get to, so I want to do a quick transition to the Steelers. I actually want to get to our break a little bit early this week so the Steelers talk is not interrupted or chopped up or whatever. So first, a message from the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau and a little talk about the Steelers quarterback and tackle situation on the other side.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
All right, so Mike Tomlin, welcome back to First 10, by the way, everybody. Mike Tomlin talked on Tuesday and gave a couple of updates, gave some insight into what is happening. The first thing he said was about Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. It didn't surprise me at all because we've watched Russell Wilson the past 2 games, watched him intermittently at practice as well, just not do a whole lot of anything. And Tomlin sort of confirmed what we saw. He's not been medically cleared by the staff to fully participate in practice, and they don't really expect him to participate on Wednesday. We'll see. So, I mean, there's no quarterback controversy here. It's Justin Fields' job, for better or worse. I don't think anything's going to change this week. Maybe it changes the week after that, but right now, Justin Fields is the guy, and you might say, hey, he can do more. I got a bunch of emails from people that were kind of upset at what Fields has done or felt like the Steelers' offense has been lacking. Well, I don't know. He's completed almost 70%, basically 70% of his passes, 273 yards, touchdown, no turnovers. It's good enough. They're 2-0. They got 2 wins on the road. I do understand there are areas where they can improve, can do more things with the ball. Chris Carter actually has a really good film breakdown of all of that. I would urge you to check that out. And so he's going to stay in there. It's less clear with Broderick Jones. Another thing that Tomlin talked about, did say he was going to give Broderick Jones a chance to rebound after the tackle committed 3 penalties in 6 plays. I'm not sure I've ever seen something like that. One wiped out a 51-yard completion to George Pickens, the other a 6-yard touchdown. You have to, right? You have to. I mean, that was not good. I would argue that some of this is almost on the Steelers for not giving him enough reps at left tackle, where you want to put him, but then you're putting him on the right side in a weird situation. They're backed up against the goal line. 3rd series of the game, you're putting him in for Troy Fautanu. I don't know. I said a couple weeks ago that I would have just dropped him in on the left side. I'm sorry, Dan Moore. You're the swing tackle. You haven't really done enough to warrant keeping your job. But now they're kind of in an awkward spot where Broderick Jones, I'm guessing his confidence probably at an all-time low. Dan Moore Jr. has played better. So, I mean, you're going to play him at this point. But it is a delicate balance. You have to get Broderick Jones in there and continue his development. Dan Moore Jr. is a UFA at the end of the season, unrestricted free agent. You're going to lose him. So you have to play the young guy. You'd want him to get some experience before that all changes. So we'll see what they do there. All right. So Penguins heading up there. The volleyball match should be really exciting. Can't wait to see that. Pitt, Penn State. I saw Pitt against the University of Buffalo, and it was a very one-sided affair, but the Panthers have ascended to number 1. I want to plug Abby Schnabel's story about the volleyball scene in Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania, also ACC, Big Ten. She looked at it from a bunch of different angles and tried to report out and tell people about why this match is so big. So make sure you check that out. I also wrote sort of an off the beaten path thing about Najee Harris. And the genesis of that, I was going to share that. Seeing him around the Steelers locker room, always wearing A's and Giants stuff. It's something I've noticed since we've been over there. And I had been looking for the right time before the A's left the Coliseum to talk to Najee about that. And I didn't know if he was, a big baseball guy. Maybe he grew up loving baseball. So I asked to speak with him separately, and the Steelers made that happen, which I appreciate. And so I talked to Najee about that. It's more of a Oakland pride in the Bay kind of thing. And you probably know Najee's backstory by now. Spent part of his childhood homeless, bounced from shelter to shelter. For researching this column, I was looking at an interview he did with NFL Films. He said he estimated he lived upwards of 20 places. Just a very difficult childhood. But in a part of that was, he was idolizing, I think he said in the NFL Films thing, Barry Sanders and somebody else that's escaping my mind at the moment, maybe Adrian Peterson, but talked about, just how much kids look to that. And in Oakland, they're taking things away. There's nothing left. There's no role models for kids. And he kind of spoke to how frustrating that was. And we talked a little baseball too. Najee does take a lot of pride in that area. As you probably know, he's thrown out a first pitch at the Giants game, thrown out a first pitch with the Oakland A's last year, ironically, to Mason Miller from Bethel Park. That elicited some funny back and forth there with Najee in the column. So I would urge you to check that out as well. Thank you for watching. As always, we will have more, same time, same place tomorrow. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get all of these videos and plenty more from our other Post-Gazette writers and columnists. Thanks for watching First 10. Talk to you tomorrow, everybody.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.